Hello, you reached Manesh Patel from the EII Capital Group. Today is February 4th, 2012. This is our weekly Ichimoku analysis for the currency market. So let's go ahead and begin. So our normal disclaimer, this is to state this is for educational use only. We're not soliciting you to buy or sell any particular instrument at all. All charts you're going to see are from Thinkorswim from TD Ameritrade, TradeStation, or FreeStockCharts.com from Warden Brothers. Here are my contact details here at the bottom, and Patel at eiicapital.com. You could access any of our free videos at ichimokutrade.com under the education section, or market sentiment graphs that we're going to go through, our heat maps, email modules, everything are all there. Okay, so let's begin. Okay, and what we're going to do is we're going to first look at the currencies on the heat map. Remember, green basically means you're bullish, red means basically you're bearish, and what we're looking for are entry strategies. If you look up here, our trending are basically where we're looking for 2, 4, 5 for trending, and then counter trend are 0s, 1s, and 3s. And if you look at it, if they're yellow, that basically means it's overextended. You can see here from Australian CAD, both of them are 5s, but you got a lot of overextension, so nothing there. This one here, Australian, New Zealand, there's conflict between the daily and weekly, so we're not even looking at that. We're looking at both the daily and weekly for long-term trends, and what you're looking for is basically on the daily time frame, you're looking for a trend strategy, which is a 2-4, and then on the weekly, you're looking for a 2-4 or 5. And if you scroll down, you see a lot of things are in conflict. Zeros right here basically means this could be in counter trend, and you could see it's in counter trend here because you're starting to set up on the lower time frames. You got a 1 here, which is also counter trend here, and you could see that from the 3 here, green here on the 10-minute. There's nothing here on the daily over here. If you scroll down, there's nothing at all going on. Everything's overextended. If you keep on scrolling down, there's nothing at all as far as daily and weekly that are in sync from the heat map at all. If you go look at our email module, which goes your 2 time frame buys and sells, this was basically Friday at the market close. You can see there's nothing on the daily time frame at all that's giving you 2 time frame buys or sells at all. If you scroll up, you could see them on the lower time frames where you got the 240 minutes and the 120s, but nothing on the daily at all. Okay, so let's start going through some of these currency pairs and just look and verify where they're at, kind of go for the support resistance levels too. Remember, on the left hand side over here is the daily time frame. On the left hand side is the daily time frame. On the right hand side is basically the weekly time frame. So we're going through. So let's go through and start working our way through each one of the currencies and kind of go through and show you where you're at. Australian CAD, if you look at it, you're pretty much broken out on a trend here on the daily. You came and retested this pivot high here, which is a major resistance at 60.69. You broke it. Now, that's even though you broke it, it really doesn't mean you broke it completely. You got to wait for a confirmation. Momentum, everything's very, very strong right now. This is still not overextended at all, so you're looking good right now. So this can have a potential to keep on going, but you got to wait and see what happens next week to kind of say, okay, this is going to start a trend on the weekly time frame too. Notice here when it had broken out from this guy right here, this bar right here, broken out 1 week, it looked like it was about to break out, and then look what happened, it went crashing down. So we got to see a follow-up here where it does break this week's high and keeps on going. If it breaks this week's high, then it looks like it's going to sit there and start a trend long term. But what it may start doing is pull back on a daily a little and then start moving forward on the week together with the weekly. Australian Switzy, upward movement here. We're retesting the pivot here. It's trending on the daily time frame, and you can see that here we're at a major resistance level right now, which we're kind of trying to break, which is 98.78. We're just kind of hanging around there. So this thing is really got to break it in the next couple of days. If not, it's going to break downwards. Australian yen, you could see all the Australian currencies are very strong right now. So Australian is strong compared to a lot of them so far, and we'll keep on going down the list. And so from there, you could see from the daily time frame that it is now trending here. On the weekly, it's not trending at all. It's in a consolidation pattern. You could see that here, this pivot high kind of denotes this big spike up. So that you could say is your resistance level is 83.96. Support is going to be 80.46. Australian USD. trending here on the daily time frame. Not quite trending here. You're kind of in a consolidation pattern right now. We're at the top of the consolidation pattern. So we're at a major resistance right now. Support's basically going to be at 460. CAD Switzy. Oh, one it has not gone through. Sorry. Australian yen. If you look at Australia, New Zealand, look at this currency pair here. So this is one pair that the Australian is not strong against, which is New Zealand. So New Zealand is stronger than Australian right now, and you should see that when we go across to the New Zealand side. But you can see from the daily time frame, it's now starting to look like it could start trending downwards. It just needs a little push down. Over here, it's kind of in a counter trend mode. It is kind of starting up to be bearish. So it's got to break for this next major support at 27.96. If it breaks for that, watch out. This thing is going to start a trend to the downside where New Zealand will get stronger compared to Australian currency. CAD Switzy, nothing really going on at all. You could see Friday that was a big push up from the Canadian dollar here against the Switzy, but really didn't do anything. It just went straight into resistance and kind of bounced off that. So you're at resistance right now. Support you're going to be is basically 90.80. So we got to wait for that to go forward. Over here on CAD Yen, you can see the big push up, but really if you kind of shrink this down, you can see it's really doing nothing at all. It's just consolidating. It's got to break this level of 77.63. If it does, then it can start a trend there, which will be a major pullback on the weekly. Okay, Switzy Yen, really nothing going on here at all. You could see that this was in a bearish trend. It's going to pullback right now. Support's basically going to be at 82.34. Resistance you're looking at is probably going to be a minor one right around 85. And you can see the weekly here it's now starting to pull back, but it's got to hold here. If it holds here, then it does have a potential of going down, but we got to wait and see what happens. Euro Australia, this thing's still trending downwards. Nothing else going on there. It's just a trend going down. If you're in it, that's great. If you're not, don't. It's too late. Euro CAD. If you look at Euro CAD, it was trending downwards, did a pullback here. It's kind of at a major support level right now, which is at 30.68. If it breaks that, then it could sit there and start going down lower. So that's the first level. Resistance is going to be basically at 32.94. But it is trending on both time frames, believe it or not. Euro Switzy, really trending here on the daily. It's interesting how they pegged the euro against this. Pegged the Switzy against the euro, and that thing's still going downwards. So they started to trend downwards. It's a slow, methodical move downwards, and you could see it's basically a pullback on the weekly. I would definitely stay away from the Euro Switzy. I don't like that at all from the charts. Euro Pound. This thing was trending downwards. It did a pullback. It had an opportunity to come down here and retest the lows. It did not do that on the last week. It should have. If it had, then it would continue to go down. But it's getting weaker and weaker as far as the bears are concerned, to a point where this thing may enter a consolidation pattern. The resistance is going to be 84.17, and support, of course, is going to be down here at this pivot at 82.24. Euro Yen. Euro Yen, nothing really going on. Trend downwards here. As pulled back, it's got a major pullback here. It's going to be interesting to see exactly what happens. Resistance is going to be basically 101.37, which we're kind of almost at right now. If it breaks that, then 104.84 is the major one, and of course support's going to be at 97. But it's going to be interesting to see exactly what happens with the yen against the euro. Euro USD, I think everyone's looking at this one. Big nice trend is now doing a pullback, kind of consolidating here up here right in the clouds. So it's consolidation right now. You can see from the weekly, basically it's in the pullback phase right now. Support's basically going to be at 30.55. Resistance is going to be 35.86 long term. Pound Australian. Remember, Australian's getting strong compared to all the currencies except New Zealand. So of course this is going to be a trend on the daily, and you could see here that this thing actually broke out of its resistance, support level at 47.85, and slowly trickling downwards. So this is an interesting one to watch, and definitely keep an eye on this one. But this is a good trade that's moving forward. Pound CAD, you could see that it's basically consolidating. Really nothing going on here. Was a trend here, but pullback, but nothing really going on at all. It's got to break this 5,500 level. If it does, then it could start a trend downward. Support's going to be basically 57.25. Pound Switzy, Nothing really going on. I kind of don't like this, any of the Switzy pairs, so I'm just walking away from them right now. Pound yen, nothing really going on, just consolidating it all. You can see from here there was a trend downwards. It's still a trend, believe it or not, until it breaks 123. But it's still a trend going downwards. But people are looking at this as a double bottom here. It's not going to be a double bottom until it breaks 123 and confirms everything. Okay, pound USD. You could see that basically it broke out of the cloud, so the sentiment's changed now to bullish. However, it means nothing because there's a major resistance ahead of it at 59.26, and then support's going to be 55.58. New Zealand CAD. If you look at New Zealand CAD, still going up, trending here on the daily time frame. And over here on the weeklies, you can see it's getting overextended now. And believe it or not, we're at one of the minor resistance levels right now. So this thing's got to pull back. 80.53 is a good level to pull back, which is far away. Minor is going to be 82.46. Okay. New Zealand Switzy, not much to talk about. You know, New Zealand's strong compared to Australia, and Australia's strong compared to everything else. So of course this is going to be strong right here. It's moving forward. It's still trending on both time frames. So there's nothing much really to talk about in that one. New Zealand yen, you could see that it's trending here on the daily. On the weekly, nothing at all. It's just pretty much getting to this pivot here, which is 64.54, which is its major resistance level. Support's going to be basically right around 61.53. Excuse me. New Zealand USD is trending on the daily. On the weekly, it's broken out a sentiment, but it needs a pullback. It needs a major pullback, believe it or not. 79, around 8,000 is probably the best pullback level if you can pull back to that. And then start moving forward, and this will start a trend on both daily and weekly. But it's a nice trend as far as the daily is concerned right now. US CAD is charting a trend on the daily. And you could see that basically it's in a consolidation pattern on the weekly. So this thing looks like it's going to sit there and try to at least get down to about right here, which is that pivot right there, which is right around 89.90 is the level that we're looking for on the US CAD. US Switzy, if you look at the US Switzy here, you basically got nothing going on there, so we're just going to move on. US yen, a lot of people have been looking at this. This looked like it was going to start a trend downwards, but look at the big gap bars. This is volatility coming into play. It's now pulled back. It's at the bottom of this support turned into resistance right now. So it's at a key resistance level here. But really, look for the weekly. There's really doing nothing at all. I think everyone's bet on this thing going up, and all it's doing is just going sideways and torturing people because it's not giving them profits, and it's actually going up and down in their P&L statements. So it's just torturing people left and right. That's it for this week. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask us. Again, here are my contact details at the very end right here. And I look forward to speaking to you guys next week. Thanks.